In the year 2000, over $5 trillion vanished. Not because of war, not because of a natural disaster, but because of websites, companies with no profits, no real business model, sometimes not even a finished product. This is the story of the biggest internet hype in history and how it all came crashing down. The late 1990s felt like magic. The internet was new, unpredictable, and full of opportunity. People believed it would change everything: how we worked, how we communicated, how we bought things. And they weren't wrong. But there was one major problem. No one really understood how to make money from it, and that made it extremely dangerous. Investors weren't looking at reality. They were looking at the future. Suddenly, profits didn't matter anymore. In fact, many companies didn't even try to make money. The only thing that mattered was growth. More users, more clicks, more traffic. If your website was growing fast, investors would throw money at you. And if your company name ended with .com, your stock price could explode overnight. It didn't matter what you were selling: pet food, groceries, toys, or sometimes nothing at all. One of the most famous examples was a company called Pets.com. They sold pet supplies online. Sounds normal, right? Except they were losing money on every single order. Shipping costs were higher than the product itself, meaning every sale actually lost them money. But investors didn't care. The company raised millions, ran Super Bowl ads, and became one of the most recognizable brands at the time. Another company, Webvan, promised to revolutionize grocery shopping. They raised over $800 million to build warehouses and delivery systems. It looked like the future, until it wasn't. By the late 90s, the market was out of control. Stock prices weren't based on reality anymore. They were based on hype. People were quitting their jobs to trade stocks full-time. College students were becoming millionaires overnight. Everyone thought the same thing. This time is different. Traditional rules didn't apply anymore. Profit didn't matter. Valuations didn't matter. As long as the internet kept growing, the money would keep flowing. But underneath all that hype, there was a problem. Most of these companies were burning through cash. Fast. They had no sustainable business model, no path to profitability. And eventually, investors started to notice. In March 2000, everything changed. The Nasdaq, the stock market index filled with tech companies, hit its peak. And then it started falling. At first, it was slow, just a small drop. But then panic kicked in. Investors rushed to sell. Prices dropped faster. More people sold. And just like that, the bubble burst. Over the next 2 years, the Nasdaq lost nearly 80% of its value. Trillions of dollars were wiped out. Companies that were once worth billions became worthless. Pets.com went bankrupt. Webvan collapsed. Hundreds of .com companies disappeared. Employees lost their jobs. Investors lost their savings. And the dream of easy internet money was gone. For many people, this wasn't just numbers on a screen. It was their life savings. People who believed in the future lost everything. Some had invested their entire retirement. Others had quit stable jobs to join startups that no longer existed. In a matter of months, everything changed. So what actually went wrong? It wasn't the internet. The internet was real. It was powerful. And it did change the world. The problem was the hype. People stopped asking important questions. Does this company make money? Does this business actually work? Instead, they chased trends. They followed the crowd. And when reality caught up, it hit hard. If this sounds familiar, that's because it is. We've seen similar patterns before, in crypto, in NFTs, in different market bubbles. New technology appears, people get excited, money floods in, and sometimes history repeats itself. But here's the interesting part. Not everything failed. Some companies survived, and those companies went on to dominate the internet. Because after the crash, only the strongest remained. Companies that actually had a real business model, real value, and a way to make money. The dot-com bubble wasn't just a crash, it was a reset. A moment where hype met reality. And while trillions were lost, it also laid the foundation for the internet we use today.